if they eat a lot of these soluble fibers, it really lowers it. So it's very, very good also as a protection for heart and vein diseases.
Hello, my name is Stella. I work as personal trainer for financial life planning. Welcome. It is common knowledge here in the Netherlands that the healthcare costs are going to the roof. It is crazy to see how much people are paying for healthcare. And the new prices for our healthcare insurance became known in September. And now people are looking for ways to reduce those costs, to see if there are more creative ways to pay less, to lead a more vital life, but also to enjoy while doing it, while saving the costs. So our guest today, she's a dietitian, a nutritionist, and she's also an entrepreneur. She will help us getting more understanding, but also providing us with tips on ways to reduce healthcare costs. Hey, Jennifer.
Hi.
Hey. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Stella. Hi. Thank you so much for inviting me so that I can be here, and I will try to share whatever I know on this topic.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I know what you do for the living. I know that you are very passionate about your work, your life's purpose. But there are people that have no idea who Jennifer Plain is. Share a bit about your story, Jennifer. Who are you?
Well, who am I? Maybe I shall start with a little bit of the beginning. My parents are both from Suriname, and I was born and raised in Holland, in Amsterdam. And then when I was 23, I wanted to explore the world and wanted to start in Suriname, where my parents are from. And I planned to go there for 4 months. But I liked it so much, and I also, how do you say it? I found my husband there.
Wow.
Also, and then I stayed there for 25 years. And it was a beautiful life. I got my 2 children there. I had my own practice there as a dietitian. I also worked in different healthcare facilities and hospitals. But I also gave a lot of presentations. I gave lectures and all kinds of different things. Worked for big companies as well to give the employees all kinds of employee programs to get themselves healthy. And 2.5 years ago, I returned to Holland. And now I have my own practice in Bakkeveen. And Bakkeveen is a very small village in Friesland. And 1 day a week, I have my online practice at Dieet Planet. That's also a dietitian platform, or for dietitian, not a platform, but a dietitian company. And there I am the only dietitian who is helping people online. So it's not, I don't have to be in Amsterdam, and it doesn't matter where the people are from. They can all, contact me.
Oh, that is wonderful. Moreover, about your online practice, your online consult with your patient. Moreover, we will be discussing that so that people also know how they can find you. Perhaps if they have questions, we will get into that later on.
Perfect.
Thanks for sharing. thanks also for being open about your roots. I love that very much. You found your love in your roots.
Yeah.
Why did you become an nutritionist and a dietitian?
I was very young, from a very young age. I was always interested in nutrition. And some mothers of friends of mine were macrobiotic. They ate like that, or they had all kinds of interesting ways of eating. So when I visited my friend, I was more talking to their mothers than to my friends because I was like, oh, and how is this? And why do you use that? And I was always extremely interested. So when I graduated from high school and I didn't know what to study, my mom, which was always also interested in nutrition, she mentioned like, "Hey, wouldn't that be something for you to become a dietitian?" I was like, "Never heard of that. That's a work field." So then we went to the open day of the school, and then I was like, "Ah, this is it. This is
You
for
were
me."
sold. You were
I
sold.
was told I loved everything they said at that day. So, and then now I'm already a dietitian for, I think, 28 years. Yeah.
Wow, that is a whole lifetime.
Yes. A whole lifetime. Yes.
Yes, and being a dietitian for over 28 years. Um, what are the benefits of nutrition for a more vital life?
Well, I think nutrition is the basic of, yeah, of life. We have to eat
Mm-hmm.
to stay alive, and then it depends so much on what you eat, how you feel, how you look, and also your health is dependent on what you eat. Of course, also all kinds of other factors, not only the nutrition, also your complete lifestyle. But then nutrition is one of the most, yeah, important ones. So yeah, for me, food is everything. What can I say?
Yeah, you are what you eat, as they say, right?
Yes, you are
Yes.
what you eat, and that's really you really have to imagine that all your cells in your body, your food make that your food is the basic of making all these cells, because what you eat, it transforms into your body. So if you eat good stuff, really good food, yeah, you can imagine that is good to make good healthy cells. And if you don't, you don't.
Yes.
And then you get all kinds of diseases, and your skin is not good, and you don't feel well, and you have pain, and you get overweight or undernutrition. All kinds of problems start if you don't eat well. Also, mental problems, a lot of mental problems.
Yes. And what are the biggest mistakes that people tend to make when it comes to nutrition?
Well, actually, where you should be focused on the most is eating fibers. And that is something no one really thinks about. People are always focused on sugar and fat, which is very true, because if you eat too much sugar, you get a lot of inflammation in the body. And all the inflammations, they are the starting point of all the diseases. So that's why you actually shouldn't be eating sugar at all. Really not. It's not necessary to for your health. It's, of course, it's lovely to eat. It's not necessary for your health. But then the fibers, they are the real good nutrition. They're, now let's say, they're the best snacks for your intestines, for your bacteria in your intestines. And if you feed the right bacteria in your intestines these fibers, then they will flourish in your intestines, and then they will fight all these inflammations very well. And that is the way you can prevent getting ill. And if you're ill, that's the way you can turn it around. So
Right.
eating a lot of fiber, that is the most important thing to stay healthy.
Right. So by increasing the fiber intake through your diet, it is a way actually to boost your immune system. That's what it
That's it.
is. Right.
Yes.
Because
Boost
of
your immune system. Yeah.
all right. Oh, that is, I had no idea about that. I mean, I know what to avoid mostly, but I never saw additional fiber in our diet as something that is so crucial
Yeah.
to boost our immune system.
Yes, it's really the most important thing. And maybe it's nice if I will share where you can find the fibers.
Yeah, what kind of foods are rich in fibers?
Yes. So the two everyone always say at the first thing if you mention, okay, what should you eat when you have to eat healthy? Everyone will say, oh, more fruits and vegetables. And that is true because fruits and vegetables, they have a lot of soluble fibers. So you don't see them, but because they're soluble, but they're very, very good. Those fibers are fantastic for your intestines. Also, the ones of fruits, because a lot of people are avoiding fruits because they contain carbohydrates. But I would never say that. I'm an advocate for fruits and vegetables. And try to, okay, how I will tell you later. So, fruits, vegetables, then the peas like beans and lentils. How do you say pulses in English? We
Mhm.
call them pulses. They have the most beautiful content of fiber because they have insoluble fibers and non-soluble fibers, and that combination is beautiful. So eat a lot of beans. Then you can also find fibers in all whole grain products like whole wheat bread and whole wheat pasta, um, whole wheat, how do you say it, noodles, but also quinoa, whole wheat bulgur, um, all the whole wheat products. And also, of course, whole wheat oat oatmeal that is has a lot of fibers and also the soluble fibers. That's why oatmeal is extra interesting for our body because it also has a combination of both fibers. Nuts and seeds have a lot of fibers too. So just adding some seeds in your yogurt in the morning or sprinkle some nuts on your how do you say it, salads or whatever. It's very good. Very, very fibrous. I already mentioned fruits, but then also the dried fruits, like dried plums and raisins, they also contain a lot of fiber. So that don't forget those fibers.
So you keep talking about two types of fibers. Um, is there any different in the way our body will digest those types of fibers?
Yes. So the non-soluble fibers, which you see more in the whole wheat products,
Mm-hmm.
they what they do when you eat bread like whole wheat bread and you drink some water after it, then the fibers in your body they will expand. They will suck up the water. Let's say it like that, like a little sponge, and then they blow up in your stomach. And there it really feels very full. You feel very full. And that is the reason they say you have to eat a lot of fiber and drink with it to lose weight, because it gives you a very full feeling for a very long time. And then the second place, when it goes down and it comes in your intestines, there it makes the, because it was swollen, it makes the stool very nice and soft and voluminous. So then you get a nice soft stool, and also it it increases the way your peristaltics of your intestines, the way they are working, that is also increased by the fiber. So then you can go to the toilet very easy with those fibers, and then it's also the right nutrition for the bacteria. Then, so that is the first non-soluble fibers. Then the soluble fibers, the one which you find more in fruits and vegetables, and also pulses, and also oatmeal, they make like a gel. When you eat them and you always drink with fibrous foods, it makes like a nice gel in your body, and it works very good if you have diarrhea. It it makes it more consistent, and also it lowers your cholesterol. So people with a high cholesterol, if they eat a lot of these soluble fibers, it really lowers it. So it's very, very good also as a protection for heart and vein diseases. Mm. And there, if you see these two things already, so it's good to go to the toilet, it makes you, but it's also good for your heart and vein diseases. And then next to that, it also, what I already explained, it also works on fighting all the inflammation in your body. If you recognize this and you really focus on eating the fiber, then you can also understand that you can heal yourself with this. And if you do that, you don't have to go to the doctor. Huh? That's better. Yes. Because you can heal yourself, and that is already getting. You don't have to go travel to the doctor. You don't have to take a day off to go to the doctor. So it's cheaper.
Yes, those are ways to save your money. Yes. You prevent multiple diseases. Yes. Just by making a small alteration in the amount of fiber intake that you have. But you also spare time, as you mentioned. You don't need to go to the doctor, but you don't need to take days off, No. For entrepreneurs, each time counts. It is revenue.
It's true.
Yeah. And because of that, applying those tips that you have mentioned, you will also prevent having higher healthcare costs, which is what we are talking about today.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And yes. You just explained the importance of good nutrition in our life. You also explained that is the best way to lead a more vital life. And you also explained indirectly how that would affect our expenditure, our healthcare expenditure. But what I tend to see is it is quite challenging for people to organize their meals properly. So what tips can you give us so that we can get a better grip on how to organize our meals?
Yes. Okay. Maybe I can say this first. What I actually would advise for everyone who wants to stay healthy, but also want to lose weight, and also people with hormonal disbalance, is try to eat only 3 meals a day, and actually 3 meals where you eat carbohydrates. If you don't eat carbohydrates between the meals, that is actually also okay, but try to focus on 3 meals a day. And then the first one is breakfast, and preferably before you leave home in the morning. That's the best moment, before you leave home. Because if you are at your work, someone can call you, hey, can you help me? Hey, can you this? Can you that? The telephone rings. And then before you know it, you skip your breakfast. So try to focus on the breakfast in the morning at home. And the best would be that you sit on your table and eat, chew, and really, enjoy your meal. Not let it not be something that is
Distracting.
someone that you stand, or while you're dressing up, you just eat something. No, take your time. And that is actually, you have to plan that. Huh? And some people, they don't have the time to prepare it in the morning. They prepare it at night. And it depends on what you eat in the morning. If you eat like oatmeal with soy milk or milk, and or yogurt or soy yogurt and fruits and everything, you can already cut the fruits at night, do it in a can, and you can already put your oatmeal and everything, your seeds in a bowl. So in the morning you only have to add the milk or the yogurt, the milk or the yogurt, and the already cutted fruits. Then you can eat in a moment, in a minute. If you don't do that, you have to do it in the morning, and then you
Just
just
more
have
time.
to. Yeah, it costs more time. If you eat bread, the same thing. You can do it already at night. Do it in a container, and then the next morning you take it out before you go and brush your teeth, and then it's already on room temperature at the moment that you go and eat it. So the preparation is very important. If you don't have the time in the morning, do it at night. That actually applies also for your lunch, because I see a lot of people buying their lunch that costs a lot of money, and it's usually not fibrous. So then you might take a croissant or some, nice bread or Surinamese bread.
It is costing twice. Not preparing your lunch is costing you twice, costing your health, your money,
Yes, yes,
and your time, by the way, 3 times.
yes. Also your time, because you always have to wait a long time. So please prepare it at night, already in a container. In the morning, you just take your bag, put it in a bag, and you leave, because everything is already prepared. Or you prepare it in the morning. But the preparation is very important. And then your dinner, also something to think about. When do you prepare your dinner? Is it also the day before? Is it the morning? Or is it just when you arrived at night after your work, when you're already hungry
I'm tired.
and tired, and are like, okay, just do something fast, 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 fast. And then your health is not top priority at that moment. Just eating fast is actually your top priority. So then also the organization for that meal, that's very important. When do you do that? And some people are preparing a lot of meat or meat replacers in the weekend. Then they freeze it in cans or little
So far
plastic
away.
bags and containers in the freezer.
Yeah, so organizing beforehand For instance, when it comes to your breakfast, try to prepare everything in the evening so that you can spare some time in the morning, and it is also more relaxing. But also being present during your meal, that is very important. Not being distracted by other things that you have mentioned. And the same goes for your lunch. If you take your lunch with you, it will spare you time. It
Yes.
will spare you your health, because you will make sure to have the proper fooding intake, the nutrition intake for that meal. But it will also save you cash, of course,
A
which is very
lot.
important. Yes, and the same goes for the evening. If you can prepare your meals during the weekend, when you have a bit more time, instead of doing in a hurry during the weeks, um, that will also prevent you from getting stressed.
Yeah.
After a long day, the last thing that you want to do is being even more stressed, because you have no clue what you are going to eat.
Yeah.
Something that I apply in my household, I've learned that couple of years ago, that is part of budgeting. When I'm making my grocery list, I plan accordingly to what I want to eat for each day, from Monday to Friday. That prevents me from buying stuff that I already have in my house. That prevents me to do that, but also to be more precise about what kind of menu I'm having in one particular day. And for communication reasons, because I have two kids, they are not always handy. It's part of my upbringing. I teach them to cook, so now they know how to cook. But each of us, we have our days to prepare the meal. So when I have that list included in my groceries list, they already know that which is related to our menu. So they already know that Wednesday, my elder, my son, will be cooking pasta, for instance. And my daughter, the only day that she can participate is on Monday. So Monday, Shisola will be cooking that. We already know that based on our grocery list. That saves us money, time, and lots of stress.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah,
that is one of the
the
things
way.
that you are sharing with us. One of your advice is just organize beforehand instead of doing everything last minute.
Yes,
Yes,
and maybe I can add to that. Try to do your grocery shopping max once a week and not every day.
true.
Because but
Yeah,
then you have to plan. You have to plan, and then you can say, well, the first 2, 3 days we eat the things that can spoil fast, and then at the end of the week we can eat the things that can stay longer in the fridge, or But yeah, don't go every day to the supermarket, because the 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 chance that you buy more is so much bigger, and also the chance that you buy things you don't really need is bigger.
indeed, indeed.
And you never go on an empty stomach,
Never go on an
because
empty stomach,
then
indeed.
that is dangerous area.
That is the moment that they put the best food. It smells just right when when you are getting there around 4. They are smart. The right bread is fresh, and
Yeah.
and you are tempted to buy even though you don't need it. That is the
Well,
empty stomach effect.
yes, that's it.
Yes. Yeah, you're so right. And when going back to nutritions, you mentioned fiber. What other kinds of nutrition would you advise for our beneficial for our health?
Well, at this moment, you cannot overlook the fact that the how do you say it? The environment is a big, big topic. Huh? And for your health, but also for the health of the planet, it's best to eat so, uh, how do you say it? Plant,
Plant-based.
plant-based as as possible. That's what I would suggest. So much plant-based as you can. So um, try to get used to also eating more beans as a meat replacer. And also, people don't always like to eat tofu and tempeh, but there are so many ways you can learn yourself to get used to making these very nicely so that you can also use them as a meat replacer. I'm not against meat, that you can never eat a piece of meat, but try not to eat it 7 days a week. Why? Your body doesn't need it. And when, yeah, people of the in the other, how do you say it? Well, let's say in earlier days, people always ate meat, but not every day. They ate it maybe once, twice a week. The rest of the days, they eat other plant based stuff. Nowadays, the world is like we have to eat meat every day, and otherwise, we have to eat fish. But the planet is not capable of giving us that. So, also, if you look, of course, at the way they treated animals, it's awful. So, that's also a reason, that can also be a reason. But okay, if you just look at your health, is that's next to the health of the planet. It's also not good for your own health to eat too much meat, and especially not processed foods, or especially not the processed meat, because they're high in saturated fat and high in salt. Now, saturated fat is the fat, it's the hard fat. You can see it also hard. It's the fat that if you eat it, it will increase your cholesterol in your body. And that is very bad for your heart and also for your veins. So you always want to keep that low as possible. So if you eat a lot of processed meats, and then I think of sausages, can be sausage on your bread, sausage, hot dogs, but also hamburgers, or chicken nuggets, or chicken, how do you say it? Fried chicken, huh? Fried chicken, or schnitzel, all those kind of slavinka. In Dutch, we call it slavinka. I don't know in English. Things like that. They're so high in saturated fat and salt, and high in calories. So it increases your weight. It's bad for your heart. It's bad for your disease, for your blood veins. And then the salt content is really bad for your blood pressure. So then it's in two ways, it's bad for your heart. So if you feel like, oh, I'm going to do my children, I'm going to treat them nice, and I'm going to take them to a place where they can buy all these things, don't forget that you're not really treating them. Yeah. Yeah, it's
You're making
nice
them
when they
sick.
eat it. But I'm sorry?
You're making them sick without, yeah,
Actually,
unintentionally.
not intentionally. It's only
Yes.
love that you want to
Yeah.
give them, but
Yeah.
it's not it's not healthy at all. Not for them, not for you. So, okay, so that is the processed meat. Then all the other processed stuff are high in sugar, and usually white flour. So, like cookies, they're all from white flour. So then they're high in butter, which is also saturated fat, high in sugar, which is, I already mentioned, the highest form of inflammation it creates in your body. And then it's also high in white flour, which is actually almost the same as sugar in your body. So then it's nice to eat candy, it's nice to eat cookies, but it's not good for our body. So if you eat it once a week or, really once a
Once in a
while,
while. Yeah.
it's not a problem. But if you're giving it your child every day and also drinks with a lot of sugar, the little cans
Soda.
or the packages, it can be soda, but it can also be the milky drinks like Fristy and chocolate milk and all those things. They're so high in sugar. You think, hey, I'm giving my child milk, but
Yeah.
you're giving it actually sugar with a little bit of milk.
So just by avoiding eating processed meat and avoiding taking sodas and all that sugary drinks, what other kind of diseases can you prevent just by avoiding those types of foods and drinks?
Well, it has a big impact on your weight. So that's the first. Huh? It gives a lot of overweight. And if you are overweight or have too much weight, that is a condition which can give you a lot of diseases. Also diabetes. That's one is it's a lot. It's a big problem. Also, all the rheumatic diseases are a consequence of how we eat, and also the hormonal diseases, also the skin diseases, even lung problems can be
As a result.
as a result of the way you eat. A lot of depression. If you depression, people with anxiety, people with also now what we see is that actually dementia is diabetes type 3. That's how they call it. And many people who have diabetes it can result also in dementia, but also just eating a lot of the things we just mentioned, a lot of the unhealthy processed foods, that can also be one of the biggest reasons that people are getting dementia. And they have just found that out. So that's a big thing, and you can prevent it. We always thought you cannot prevent it. It's just something that you can get. No, now we see, no, you don't have to do that. If you eat healthy, you do a lot of exercise, you sleep well. If you do those things good, you don't have to get it.
Yeah, so we keep going back to the three pillars, which is the right nutrition, the quality of your sleep and exercise, and the quality of your food is really crucial to prevent to get even those diseases.
Yeah.
That's being said, we just have tackled the reasons why the healthcare costs are so high. It is crazy. It is also crazy how sometimes we know better, but we don't do better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we call it's obesogene surrounding. So you don't really get helped by your surrounding. And that can be, if you look at the supermarket, 70% of everything they try to sell us is unhealthy. So then only 30% is healthy, what you can find in the supermarket. So you really have to be educated to know what to choose.
Yeah. And it is
And that is,
cheaper. What is not healthy, it's cheaper to buy than that is just crazy.
yeah,
It pisses me off.
it's really
I
crazy.
don't get it. So that is also the government responsibility to facilitate that we actually can buy affordable food
Yeah, true.
besides the education part.
Yeah. And then we only mention now the supermarkets, but everywhere where you go and you look around, you can buy the nicest things to eat. but not the healthiest things, but the nicest everywhere where you come. Especially, nah, it's everywhere. It's also in villages, but especially in the big cities. All the places where you can eat, it's rich in all the things I've mentioned: sugar, fat, salt. Those three, rich in. So you really have to look and choose, and you be very critical with what you choose and where you go and eat.
To feed
Well,
your body.
not
Yeah.
easy. It's
Yes.
not so easy.
Yes, and there is so much more that you could share about nutrition, the minerals, the vitamins, but the conversation, the list could go on, and I don't think we will be done today with this conversation. Jennifer, tell us if you would give like three pieces of advice for people listening or watching this conversation. What would you say?
Okay. Now, I think what I already mentioned. First, focus on fiber and drinks, that it should go always together. Drink enough, 2 liters of water, tea without sugar, things like that. Sugar, not sugary drinks. So the fibers is the first one. Second one is uh, eat 3 meals a day and prepare them. Be sure that you can eat them when you want to eat them, in the right amount, the right the right foods. And the third, well, try to leave out the processed foods.
That is it.
I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Very simple, but also very complex for many.
Yes, very complex. And
And Jennifer, by the way, we both have different backgrounds, so our diet is quite different. So how do you adjust your nutrition advice based on our backgrounds?
no problem. No problem at all. Last year, I spent 2 months in Ghana. And well, I'm a dietitian. So the first thing I do is to get to know the food of the country. And as a dietitian, you divide everything. So I only have to know, I don't really have to know the real dishes. I only have to know where it consists of, So yeah. So, and then I'm just gonna look at, okay, how much vegetables do you eat? And if it's vegetable A or B,
Doesn't matter.
that's not so interesting. It's more the amount I'm interested in.
All right.
And then if you eat something from a flour, a type of flour, it doesn't matter what kind of type. Does it contain fibers? That's the only thing I'm interested in. How do you make the dish? So that's how I look. And do you eat pulses? If it's pulses A or B, doesn't matter. Do you eat them? If you eat nuts or seeds, it doesn't matter which ones, but do you eat them? And how do you eat them? And how do you... Last year in Ghana, they ate completely different than in Suriname, and also completely different than in Holland. But then I got to know things like, it's called egusi. Then they say egusi or agusi, and that is some kind of um, seed or a pit. So then I never knew it, but then I know, okay, then this is high in fiber, high in protein, and high. Okay, then I just ask to eat that more. It doesn't really matter. I just have to know where it consists of and how you eat it and how are the how it's divided in the meal.
All
And maybe
right.
I can suggest take a little less of this and a little more of that. Only that's always how I look. How much fat do you use? Can it be a little less? And is it still nice? And can you add a little more water or more spices? But I will never touch the recipe.
Right,
You
right.
know?
Very simple. Thank you for sharing that. I always was very curious. How would you approach that? We have in Angola, we there is a lot where there are my roots in Angola, and it is true that we have so many natural foods, but oftentimes it's just not knowing which amount you would apply to your meal and how you would organize it to get the most of it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that.
no problem.
Very last question. The holidays are coming soon. So what kind of advice can you give when it comes to organizing the right things for the holidays?
Well, don't forget to also use some fruits for the desserts. Huh? And try to keep the holidays, the first of Christmas or Christmas Eve, it depends on what you celebrate, Christmas Eve or the first of Christmas, the second of Christmas. Then don't eat all the leftovers all the other days.
Oh,
And then 31st and the 1st of 31st of December and the 1st. Because if you eat all these days in between, then you will gain weight. And it's not nice for you when you have to get all the kilos off again. So try to focus on those 4 days.
hmm. The leftovers are the best. What are you talking about?
Give them away.
They are more tasty.
But that is actually where I see the most weight will be gained in those extra days.
Right. Well, thanks
And
for
try
the
to always exercise also during those extra days. Don't only sit and eat and drink, but also exercise. Why not? Make a nice walk. What I've seen is that some people can gain 10 kilos only in December. So that's why I have to mention, check what you eat and keep on exercising.
guys. Only in the month of December they can gain 10 kilos just by eating the leftovers.
And not leftovers,
And I love
everything.
everything, but I love
And
leftovers. Hi. Where
yeah,
can people find you, Jennifer?
well, what do you want me to share? My website?
Yeah, share all. How can people find you?
Yeah.
I know that
Uh,
you have a website indeed.
a www point and then Jennifer Plain and then a couple of, how do you say it? And then dietitian .nl. Yes, and there you can find my telephone number, and I think that's easiest.
For people listening to us, you can find Jennifer. She has a website. I will put the details of her website on the description below. You can also find her on LinkedIn through a website. By the way, you will find also our contact details, such as phone number, email address, and much more about the type of work that she does. On our website, she shares many advice on the nutrition and best way to diet, but also she shares a bit more about our background, what she has studied and how she came to the conclusion to about how she came around her expertise. So ladies, females, entrepreneurs, thank you for staying here with us so far. If you find our conversation worthwhile, please share, Share your thoughts, share your opinion, but also share with others. Fooding, our nutrition is very important. It will help you save time, save money, but also look better. That is through the right nutrition. That is actually the best beauty advice that you can get.
True, 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 true.
If I would
True.
share how old Jennifer is, no one would believe. I'll keep it
Yesterday.
between us. Yes, yes.
Okay.
So yes, thank you for sharing. And remember, financial autonomy is a lifestyle and not a destination. I want, I can, I do, I am. Thanks for listening and talk to you next time.